Welcome to Master the Science of Miracles, where we will explore the ancient science of transforming your ideas into your physical reality. Join us on a thrilling adventure that pushes beyond the limits of conventional beliefs about what it truly means to be human, as we unravel the truth about how powerful you really are. In each episode, we will discover the elements of the reliable, repeatable, step-by-step process for making the miraculous and ordinary part of your life. This is your portal to the extraordinary. So let the adventure begin. And now, here's your host, Ron Matthews.
Welcome back. As you can see, I'm not over at the studio today. I'm taping this here in my home office. And what I wanted to do today was to talk about a bit of a deeper dive into the development of the energy of miracles. Now, if you are familiar with Chinese Qigong or Tai Chi, you know this energy as Qi. If you're familiar with yoga, you know it as prana. It's all the same thing. So I'm going to go over a few things right now about how to increase your effectiveness in building up this energy and how to increase the probability that you're going to feel it when you do develop it. So the first thing is, whether you're seated or whether you're standing, I want you to let your body relax. And when I say relax, I mean that you can see that my arms are kind of like overcooked spaghetti. They just kind of flop. If I shake like this, kind of like a dog after it's had a bath, that's how I want you to be, nice and relaxed. And when you're relaxed in this way, your sensing faculties are going to perceive that you are sinking, that you're feeling heavy from the waist down. And that's exactly how I want you to feel. I want you to feel as though everything is sinking down into this area just below your navel. We talked about this in the video I did before on cultivating and building the energy of miracles. That's the first thing. So, you're going to sink, you're going to relax. Everything's relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed, chest is relaxed, abdomen is relaxed, and to the extent that you can, your legs are relaxed too. Now, if you're standing, of course, you want to have enough tone in your muscles so you can remain standing. You don't want to collapse. That's the first thing. Now, as we talked about before, the next thing is to draw your attention to this area below your navel. We talked about that before. In Chinese, we call this the dantian, or the lower dantian. And this lower dantian, you want to bring your attention here by taking your fingers and pressing in here. Press in with enough pressure so you can feel it, so that your attention is being drawn to this area. This is very important because as you're doing this work, you need to have your attention focused on this area here. Now there's one more thing I did not mention in the previous video, and that is there's a second point in your body which has to do with cultivating this energy. And that point is in your back. If you're familiar with anatomy at all, this point is right between the second and third lumbar vertebra. And it's in Chinese, or the name of this point is the life door. In Chinese is Ming Men. So to engage this point, I'm going to turn profile to the camera. And as you can see, I hope you can see here, that I'm standing normally, so I have a nice curve in my lumbar. What I'm going to ask you to do is to do a pelvic tilt. So you tilt your pelvis forward. And as I do that, you can see that now this area flattens. And if I were standing against a wall, and I have my pelvis tilted in this way, you should be unable to slide your hand in between my back and the wall. So your lumbar curve flattens when you do this. And when you do that, what you've done is you've aligned those 2 points. You've aligned the Dantian point with the Ming-Men point. This is very important. And in Tai Chi, in Qi Kong, this is one of the foundational practices that increase your ability to relate to interact with your body's own energy, with that primordial, vital life force energy that we talked about before. So, number one thing is to relax, like limp spaghetti. Number two, pelvic tilt. And oh, by the way, my knees are unlocked. You never want to lock your knees. You never want to stand straight-legged. That cuts the energy flow off. So slight unlock or slight bend in the knees, pelvic tilt. And now my arms just hang. And where they hang, my middle fingers are touching the outer thigh. Just relax. And now that you're in this relaxed posture, you can begin with the breathing we talked about before. And that is, when we inhale, our tummy expands. And when we get to the end of the inhalation, your chest might rise a little bit. That's fine. The main thing is, the first thing that inflates is the tummy. When you exhale, the chest falls, the tummy contracts. And all the while, you're inhaling, you're exhaling, you're keeping your attention on this Dantian point, you're keeping your lumbar curve flattened. You're staying in this alignment. As you do this, just stand here and take a few nice, long, slow, deep breaths, like this. That's the inhale. And that's the exhale. You can't hear me breathing because it's very quiet. If I exaggerate that, this is the inhale, and this is the exhale. So I'm breathing more loudly for the purposes of this film. Spend 10 minutes a day. It doesn't sound like much, but when you first start this, 10 minutes is going to seem like a long time to just stand here like this. For my advanced students, they stand in a posture like this for at least an hour a day. And the reason for that is doing this cultivates that energy. And if you have your lumbar curve flattened, if you have Ming-Men and Dantian lined up, you're really going to begin to feel this energy moving. Okay, so now here's a bonus feature I could not show over at the studio. And that is, we're going to be using our arms in this process. Don't do this until you've done the basic practice, standing like this, weight sunk, energy sunk, arms relaxed, Ming-Men open, chin pulled back so your head is aligned. In fact, when you stand this way, you want to feel as though this point in the top of your head is perfectly aligned with a point in your perineum. That's a point midway between the genitals and the anus, on the perineum. This point is called the Bai Hui point. The point on the perineum is called the Hui Yin point. You don't need to know those names. It's just you want to feel as though you're being suspended from a hook from your head, and you're being pulled downward from a hook from your perineum. So you're being stretched in this way. Now, to bring your arms into this practice, we're going to just simply raise our arms like this and adopt this posture as though you're hugging a beach ball or hugging a tree. Again, my arms are very relaxed and my elbows are sunk. My palms are facing my chest. And I'm just going to breathe in this way. after you spent about a month or so, after you spent about a month or so in this posture, then you can graduate to this posture here. Now, here's where the magic really begins. What I'm about to show you is one of the most fundamental aspects of Qigong and Tai Chi. And that is, I maintain a perfect balance in my entire body. What do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean. When I turn profile to the camera again, and I'm standing the way I just showed you. Mingmen is open, shoulders, arms are sunk, everything is sinking downward. When I raise my arms like I just did, as the arms raise, my torso moves back. And I can prove this by simply dropping my arms like this. When I do that, I have to fall backwards because my body's weight is being perfectly counterpoised against my arms. Now, sink your elbows, let your shoulders relax, and do this breathing for about 10 minutes each day. And when you're done, let your arms descend, and as they do, your body comes forward, and you're back to a perfect balance. These are very powerful practices. So please, don't do this posture until you've done the basic posture for at least a month. And I just know you're doing this every day, aren't you? Go like this with your head. Yes, you are. You're doing this every day. As I said before, when I was making videos in the studio, if you take nothing else from our time together than this practice of breathing in this way and focusing on your lower dantian, that alone is going to transform your life. As always, if you have any questions, email me at ron@masterthescienceofmiracles.com. And until next time, make miracles an ordinary part of your life. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye for now.